Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugged you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugged you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugged you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugged you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugged you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugged you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge.
Welcome to Courtroom Chaos. And here you are, hijacking the vehicle of justice and steering the wheel of absurdity into the light post of fun. Buckle up.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out.
You've just been cast in the courtroom comedy of a lifetime. Plaintiff and defendant, grab your phone and tell us who you are and what makes you happy. Your sharing of joy will inform today's original courtroom showdown.
Welcome. Judge Snoop on the bench. Ready to call it how I see it. We're gonna keep it cool, keep it clean, and keep it real. Now let's dive into these facts. All right, check it. Patrick here was minding their business, munching through a collection of collectible squid toys, real deep in the snack game. Then Honey rolled up with some dream-sharing tech, rehearsed arguments in Patrick's sleep, and used that knowledge to win a toy-eating competition fair and square. Patrick lost 50 grand worth of rare specimens and wants 150 back. That's the situation, baby. Players, it's decision time. Are you an eyewitness to what happened? A character witness speaking for someone's reputation? Or an expert witness here with the facts? Choose your role.
All right. Let me lay out how we moving today. Patrick, you got Dominic in your corner as an expert witness. They'll be breaking down the technical side of this dream-sharing tech situation. Honey, you coming with your own evidence direct. Let's get into it. Facts are in, people. Now it's your turn to talk. Let me hear your opening statements. Patrick, let's hear it. Lay out why Honey messing with your dreams while you slept across the line, you dig? Oh, wow. Did not see that coming. Heavy stuff. Let's see here, I need more. Yo, Patrick, hold up. You said you were collecting these squid toys to set them up later on. Set them up for what, exactly? You talking display? You talking something else? Because that detail matters when we talking about 50 grand worth of merchandise. You dig? Look, Patrick, that answer just got a little murky for me. You're talking about glass art, but not spelling out why that matters to 50 grand in toys. That's weak positioning right there, nephew. You gotta connect those dots clearer if you want me believing this case, you dig? All right, honey, let's hear it. What's your defense to this 50 grand squid toy situation, and how you gonna make this right? Honey, that's weak sauce right there. You got drunk and now you want to make it up? That ain't an opening statement. That's a confession wrapped in an apology. You got to bring more than remorse to my courtroom, you dig? All right, so Patrick had their rare squid collection, and Honey used Dream Tech to cheat them out of 50 grand in a toy-eating throwdown. Dominic, step up and break down what you know about this whole operation for the court. What's your expertise telling you here? Hold up, Dominic. So Patrick threw up an 8 limited edition squid toys? That's not expertise. That's just describing a real messy situation. You're telling me what happened, not why it matters legally. I need analysis, not play-by-play, you feel me? All right, so Patrick lost 50 grand in squid toys after Honey used Dream Tech to rehearse and win a competition. Honey, break down what went down at that competition for me. I need you to paint that picture so our court artists can sketch it out proper. What you see in that moment. A tale so vivid, our illustrators have their hands full. I'll have to reflect on whether what I just heard was genius or a cry for help. Honey, hold up. Beach volleyball. We're talking about dream hacking tech and 50 grand in squid toys here. That exhibit the court artist just sketched doesn't connect to nothing in this case. You're all over the place, and that ain't helping you right now. All right, y'all. We heading into the home stretch now. Time for closing statements. Patrick, bring it home for me, my G. You got 50 grand in squid toys on the line here, so remind the court what Dominic said and why Honey played you dirty. That was bold, and maybe a little risky. I'm feeling like I know which way I'm going. Look, Patrick, that's the first real thing you've said all day. The tech spooked you, you panicked, things got messy. That's honest. But here's the thing. Being scared don't erase what happened. You still lost those toys on your own terms, you feel me? All right, honey. You heard what Dominic said about them dreams. Now tell me why you shouldn't be paying Patrick back that money. Cuz. You threw a few curveballs in there, defendant. Problem is, I already feel like I know the score. Honey, that closing statement was about as coherent as a dream, without the tech. You're talking about eating furniture when we're discussing 50 grand in squid toys. That's not a defense, that's just noise. Case closed in my mind. All right, family, we've seen it all. Wild claims, bold defenses, and a few laughs in between. This courtroom's been alive today. And now it's my turn to wrap it up. Judge Snoop's about to call it and see who's walking out smiling. Look, this whole case been all over the place like a shopping cart with 3 bad wheels. Patrick came in talking about glass art and accidentally eating their own collection out of fear. That ain't on Honey. Honey showed up talking about chairs and beach volleyball. Straight nonsense. But between confused self-sabotage and complete incoherence, Patrick at least told a story that made some sense, even if it ain't a winning one. The verdict goes to Patrick. All right, honey, you lost this one, and that's the way it is. You're gonna pay Patrick $150,000 in full, and here's your real punishment. You're gonna stand there holding an invisible microphone, interviewing yourself about how you walked into this courtroom talking nonsense when you should have stuck to facts. Let that simmer. Gavel down. We out.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos. Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugs you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugs you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection.
Welcome to Courtroom Chaos, featuring Judge Snoop Dogg, the Dogfather himself. We're building the case on the spot, so you can use the most ridiculous arguments to make sense of it.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you.
Plaintiff and defendant, grab your phones and tell the court what makes you special, or all warm and fuzzy on the inside. We'll tailor a completely original trial, made just for you.
Good to see everybody here. It's Judge Snoop, bringing a little West Coast breeze to the halls of justice. You tell the truth, I'll keep it fair, and we'll all walk out of here feeling right. Now, on to the case. Yo, check it. Dominic came to karaoke night with a deck of rare Yu-Gi-Oh cards for trading. Patrick, claiming he can't lose at anything, froze time itself to rehearse his performance. While time stopped, Patrick allegedly consumed Dominic's entire card collection out of pure competitive rage. Dominic seeks 200 grand for the loss and emotional damage. That's cold, my G. Before we go any further, some of you get to choose your part in this case. Eyewitness, character witness, or expert witness. Lock it in now. All right. Let's get this show started. We got Dominic on the plaintiff side bringing their character witness, Honey, who gonna tell us about Dominic's rep. and how they really move. Then we got Patrick ready to defend themselves. Y'all ready? Let's do this thing, baby. Facts delivered. Now let's get this party started with opening statements. All right, Dominic, let's hear it. Why Patrick think he could freeze time and ghost your whole card collection, my G? All right, Dominic, I hear you saying Patrick was jealous and you was winning games. That's a start, but you gotta dig deeper than that, you feel me? Show me how that jealousy led to him freezing time and eating your cards. Right now, you're playing it too safe, my G. All right, Patrick, let's hear it. How you gonna defend yourself against this time-freezing card consumption situation? Hold up. Patrick, you just admitted to the jealousy and the action, then threw in some Scooby-Doo excuse about meddling kids? Nah, that ain't how this works. You can't confess and deflect in the same breath, you dig? All right, so Patrick froze time and ate up all of Dominic's rare cards out of pure competition sickness. Now, honey, I need you to tell me what you know about Dominic's character. Is this youngin' somebody who deserved that kind of disrespect, or what? Hold up, honey. I appreciate the loyalty you showing to your friend. Reminds me of what real ones do. But calling out Patrick's wrong move without painting me the actual picture of who Dominic really is doesn't help the case much. You feel me? We need more meat on them bones. All right, so Dominic brought rare Yu-Gi-Oh cards to karaoke, and Patrick allegedly froze time to demolish that whole collection out of pure ego. Patrick, I need you to paint me a picture of what went down that night. Give me the details so our artist can sketch this scene for the record. What do we got? Well, that was a statement for the ages. Let's start shaking this picture to reflect what you just said. Hold up. Anime gold singing in a ball? Patrick, you talking about karaoke night, or you describing a fever dream? That exhibit the court artist just sketched don't show me nothing about frozen time or eating cards. You're dancing around the real issue here, my G. That's weak. All right, we heading into the final round now. Closing statements coming at us. Dominic, bring it home for me. Tie up everything we heard, especially what your niece Honey laid down, and show me why Patrick gotta pay up. Plaintiff, you came in hot and left it hotter. My ruling might already be written in my head. Yo, Dominic, that ain't landing, my G. You're throwing smoke about anime music when the real issue is Patrick froze time and ate your cards. Stay focused on what matters. That's the way it is. All right, Patrick, let's hear your closing argument. Time to address what Honey said and show me why you ain't guilty of this card catastrophe. All right, defendant, that was a solid closer. And real talk, I appreciate everyone in this courtroom for bringing their time, their words, and their energy. This case has been a ride. Yo, Patrick, that ain't a closing argument, that's just noise. You froze time, ate the man's cards, and now you hollering random words? Come on, nephew, the facts stand. Time to render judgment. Yo, hold up. Honey, I need you back here for a second. You said Patrick did basically wrong, but what exactly did you witness him do to those cards? I need the specifics, niece. What did you actually see go down? Hold up. So you went from defending your boy to describing how cars got consumed one by one? That's wild. You just painted a picture that makes Patrick look guilty as charged. You feel me? That detail about nothing but sleeves left hits different. You might have just sealed the case for Dominic right there without meaning to. That's the way it is sometimes. This case has had it all. Big swings, bold words, a couple surprises, and a whole lot of personality. You all brought your best to the table, and I respect that. But all good things come to an end, and the end of this case is my verdict. All right, listen up. Dominic came with the facts straight. Patrick froze time, consumed the cards out of pure jealousy, and left only sleeves behind. That's destruction of property right there. Patrick's defense crumbled faster than a weak hand, throwing out nonsense instead of real answers. Honey's testimony sealed it. She saw what went down. The evidence speaks loud and clear in this courtroom. All right, Patrick, here's what's happening. You're paying Dominic 200 grand for those cards you consumed in a fit of rage. But that ain't all. Before you walk out of here, you're standing right there and delivering an overly emotional apology speech about how jealousy made you freeze time and destroy something that wasn't yours. Make it real. Make it hurt, then roll out. This courtroom is now adjourned.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugged you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defense.
And they're out of here. Hey, you better come back now.
Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugged you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugs you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugs you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated.
Welcome to Courtroom Chaos. And here you are, hijacking the vehicle of justice and steering the wheel of absurdity into the light post of fun. Buckle up.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated.
You've just been cast in the courtroom comedy of a lifetime. Plaintiff and defendant, grab your phone and tell us who you are and what makes you happy. Your sharing of joy will inform today's original courtroom showdown.
Greetings, loved ones. Court is in session. Judge Snoop here with that calm mind, sharp ear, and just a touch of that SoCal flair. Let's get the facts straight and make it happen. Case starts now. All right, listen up. Honey was vibing in Animal Crossing, cataloging rare star fragments for their island museum, when Dominic, fresh from Chick-fil-A, spilled waffle fries all over Honey's Switch, corrupting their entire star chart. Now, Honey's island, cosmically unbalanced, their catalog ruined. They want 200 grand for emotional damages and a new Switch. Dominic claims it was an accident. Let's get into it. Listen up. Time to pick your place in this courtroom drama. Eyewitness, character witness, or expert witness. Choose and let's get this case rolling. All right. We got Honey over here claiming they lost their whole cosmic collection. On the other side, Dominic gonna tell us how this waffle fry situation went down. And we got Patrick up in here, eyewitness, right there when it happened. Patrick gonna paint us a picture of exactly what went down that day. Let's get it. Now that we've heard the scoop from the Snoop, it's your time to echo back. Let's get rolling. All right, Honey, let's hear it. Tell me what went down with those waffle fries and your switch, you dig? Hold up, Honey. You got some real damage on your hands. But let me keep it smooth with you. You laid out what happened, and that's solid. Now we going to hear from Dominic's side and see if this accident story holds water, you dig? All right, Dominic, let's hear it. How you gonna defend yourself against these waffle fry allegations, my G? All right, Dominic. So you're saying you made it worse trying to fix it. That's real talk. I respect the honesty. But here's the thing. That Chick-fil-A sauce never should have been near the console in the first place. Accountability starts before the cleanup, you dig? All right, so Dominic walked in with Chick-fil-A waffle fries and turned Honey's Animal Crossing into a digital disaster. Patrick, step up and paint me a picture of how this catastrophe went down for our sketch artist. You feel me? Well then, that paints a picture all right. Let's give the team a moment to, capture that chaos properly. Yo, hold up. Patrick, that exhibit you gave the court artist is real thin, cuz. Anime goes cleaning up a mess? That don't tell me nothing about what actually went down. Was Dominic panicking? Was the switch smoking? I need the real story, not the vibes. You saw something. Paint me the picture that matters, you feel me? All right, Dominic. Let me hear how this whole waffle fry situation went down from your angle. Paint me a picture of that moment. Was it really an accident? Or did something else go sideways? Help the court understand what actually happened when you had that switch in proximity to those Chick-fil-A fries. A tale so vivid, our illustrators have their hands full. I'll have to reflect on whether what I just heard was genius or a cry for help. Yo, hold up. That exhibit shows me messy sauce and chickens, but it don't show me nothing about how it got on that switch or what actually went down. You're painting me a plate, not a crime scene. I need real details about the moment it happened, you dig? All right, we've heard it all. Now it's time to lock it down with closing statements. Honey, step up and tell this court why Dominic should be held accountable. Remind them what Patrick said about those greasy fries, you dig? That was a solid closing. And honestly, everyone in this courtroom brought their A game today. I think I know where this is headed. Look, honey, I hear you. That sauce situation was real messy, no doubt. But closing arguments need to land harder than that. You're talking about cleaning up, but we need you focused on what Dominic owes you. Keep it sharp, keep it tight. That's how you win this thing. All right, Dominic, you heard what Patrick said. Now tell me why this waffle fry situation ain't your fault, my G. Defendant, I appreciate the way you wrapped that up. And to everyone else, thank you for showing up and holding it down from start to finish in Snoop's court. Yo, Dominic, I hear you love that sauce. But loving something don't mean you get to baptize somebody else's switch with it. That's not a closing argument. That's just you getting nostalgic about the crime scene. We need accountability here, not a food review. Yo, hold up. Patrick, come back here for a second. When you said Dominic was trying to clean up that mess, was they moving quick to stop the damage or moving slow like they didn't care? That's the real question right there. You feel me? Hold up. So y'all went full janitor on that switch with cleaning supplies? That ain't cleaning, that's homicide with a mop. You just made things worse, nephew. That story went from accident to catastrophe real quick. This testimony just handed Honey the case on a silver platter, you dig? This trial has been a little like one of those puzzles where you're missing a few pieces, but you squint at it long enough and think, yeah, I can see the picture. We've had laughs, surprises, and a couple moments that made me go, wait, what? But now the picture's as clear as it's gonna get, and I'm ready to rule. All right, here's what went down in my courtroom today. Honey had a real case. The switch got damaged. That's facts. But when Patrick dumped cleaning supplies all over the device instead of being careful, that turned a simple accident into a full disaster. Dominic owned up to the mistake early, which shows character. The real damage came from the reckless cleanup attempt. That's what sealed it for me. All right, Dominic, here's how this plays out. You're paying Honey 200 grand for the switch and emotional damages. That's the whole load. And before you bounce, I need you to give me your best evil villain speech about how you'll get Honey next time. Make it good, make it theatrical, then stay away from that island. Court's adjourned, nephew.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's court. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugged you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Objection. Overruled. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you up and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugged you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's.
Welcome back to Courtroom Chaos, where we're building cases on the spot, based on your vibrant personalities. Therefore, besides our court-appointed artist, the cases are always sketchy. Plaintiff and defendant, it's your time to shine. Tell the court who you are and what's your favorite thing to do on a Friday night. We'll spin that info into courtroom gold.
You've made it to my court, where the facts matter, the truth wins, and I might hand out style points if you plead your case with flair. Let's see who's got what. All right, check it. We got Honey and Patrick, both posted up at the anime convention last weekend. Honey was vibing, minding their business by the cosplay booth, when Patrick walked up and convinced them to play this very game, right here, right now. But here's the twist. Patrick kept saying the rulings were getting too real, too meta, too deep. Now Honey's claiming 800 grand in damages for emotional distress and existential confusion. Let's get into it. Listen carefully. It's time for some of you to pick your place in this courtroom drama. Eyewitness, character witness, or expert witness. Choose and let's get this case rolling. All right. Let me lay out what we got here. Honey's bringing Dominic to the stand as an eyewitness, my G. Dominic was right there at that anime convention, saw the whole thing go down by the cosplay booth. They'll be painting us a picture of exactly what went down that day. Patrick, you ready with your side? Let's get rolling. I've laid out the nitty-gritty and painted the picture. Now it's time for your voices to be heard. All right, Honey, let's hear it. Lay out what Patrick did to you at that convention and why you're walking away with 800 grand on your mind. All right, Honey, I hear you. Patrick's got these animated characters floating around, and that's the claim. But you dig? We need more meat on these bones. What exactly happened? How'd that affect you? Right now, you're just setting the table, but I need you to serve the meal. You feel me? All right, Patrick, let us hear it. What's your defense on this $800,000 emotional distress claim from the anime convention? Not what we're here for today. Let's keep it focused on your case. All right, so Honey's out here claiming Patrick twisted their mind at the anime convention with some deep game talk. Dominic, step up to the stand right now. Tell me exactly what you saw go down at that cosplay booth so Our artist can sketch this whole thing out proper. Your words paint a picture already, but let's do one better. My associates are crafting a real image of your tale. Sit tight while the visual drama unfolds. Look, Dominic, that exhibit ain't helping your case much. You describing a bunch of attractive women hanging together? That don't tell me nothing about emotional distress or existential confusion. That's just people vibing at a convention. You gotta show me the damage, you dig? All right, Patrick, let's hear it. I need you to paint me a picture of what went down at that cosplay booth. When Honey was standing there, what exactly did you see that made you think they were ready for this whole game situation? Break it down for the court. Right. As we reconstruct the scene based on your description, I'll take a quiet moment to plan my velvet robe outfit for the next barbecue. Yo, hold up. Women hugging at a convention is wholesome, not harmful. The exhibit shows people enjoying themselves, which does nothing to support Honey's claim of 800 grand in damages. Y'all are showing me togetherness, not trauma. That's not a case, that's a moment. All right, we heading into closing arguments. That's where the real talk happens. Honey, come on up and lay down your final case. And remember what Dominic said about all that meta confusion Patrick was dropping. That was a great finish to a well-fought case on both sides. My verdict? I think I've got it figured out. But this case isn't over yet. Yo, hold up. Red eyes at a convention means somebody been in the arcade for 12 hours straight. Not possession, my G. That's a reach that don't land. We talking about a game session, not a supernatural episode. That ain't gonna fly in here. All right, Patrick, you got your moment. Hit me with your best shot and tell me why this 800 grand claim ain't got legs. That was a good finish, defendant. And let me just say, I'm grateful for every voice that's been heard in here. We kept it moving, we kept it respectful, and that's how we do in my courtroom. Hold up. Now you're saying you can't even remember what happened, but somehow you're certain enough to blame it on possession? That's not a defense, my G. That's just admitting you don't got a case. You can't just forget your way out of this one. Hold up, Dominic. Come on back here for a second. When you say these pretty women were going with each other, you mean they were walking together? Or were they actually involved in this whole Patrick and Honey situation? Help me understand what you really saw, you dig? Yo, hold up. So first they was vibing together all smooth, now they arguing? That's like saying the track was fire, and then it caught the whole studio ablaze. You went from a garden party to a full confrontation, nephew. That muddies the water on what really went down. We gonna need to see how this lands when Patrick speaks their piece. All right, I've been trying to connect the dots in this case, but I think somebody moved a few of them when I wasn't looking. We've had testimony that hit hard, testimony that missed, and testimony that just took a walk. But at the end of the day, I've got to work with what I've got, and that means giving you my verdict. All right, listen up. Y'all came at me with possession accusations, red eyes, and women hugging at a convention. That ain't 800 grand in damages. That's creative fiction. Honey's story kept shifting. First, it's about attractive people, then arguments, then demon possession. Patrick kept it consistent. The facts don't support existential distress here. I'm ruling in favor of Patrick because Honey didn't build a real case, just vibes and conspiracy theories. Stay grounded, cuz. All right, Honey. You came in here talking about demons and possession at a convention, but you lost this one fair and square. Here's what you're gonna do. Every time you step up to speak, you're holding a tiny flag that says, "I got confused at the anime. Con." That's your reminder to keep it real next time, not fictional. No damages flowing. Stay grounded, my G. Gavels down, case closed.
All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. All rise for the Honorable Judge Snoop. You may be seated. Courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos. Snoop Dogg's courtroom chaos, chaos, chaos.
What?
Push and shove and they nudge you. Call you out and they judge you. Filed a case and it bugs you. Now you're sitting in front of Judge Snoop. Came in as the plaintiff, no witness for the defendant. Smiling and you grinning, cause this case you think you winning.